Hi, everyone. I wanted to redo my virtual listing presentation class because we were pretty bogged down with the internet when I did this class before. So most of this class, I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I want to say that the intention of this class is not to help you put together a listing presentation. Everyone does their presentation differently, and how you do that, you're going to need to adapt to this online model. But it's very doable. So I'm going to give you the systems and tools to do it, and then you're going to need to adapt your process. So some people do a one-stop listing presentation where you show up and you already have some numbers in mind and you tour the house and you give them that information. Some people come and do a tour of the house and then they leave and come back and give some information, do a CMA at that point. The idea here is that you're going to need to see their home, likely. And so you can do this in one stop or two, but there's going to be two technologies that you need. If you are iPhone to iPhone, you guys can do FaceTime. If you are iPhone to Android and you're on Facebook, you can use Facebook Messenger to video. And so the initial thing that's going to happen is just a general conversation with the client. Hey, I realize that we're all in a situation where we're at home and that you are interested in listing your home. If we do some certain things now, we can be ready when the quarantine is lifted and we can, the mandates lifted. So let's go ahead and take a look at the house now. Let me give you some recommendations. Let's talk about a planning session, or let's have a planning session. Let me talk about pricing. Let's talk about the marketing aspect of it. And as far as pricing, obviously we're going to relook at this before we launch the listing, but now is a great time to get some things done around the house. So that's a phone conversation likely. And then you're going to kind of instruct them. This is going to be 2 steps. Again, iPhone, I need you to give me a call via FaceTime and you're going to walk me through your house. When people walk through, do a walking video, they tend to walk really fast. They don't realize how it's translating on the video. So you're going to really help them by instructing them on how to slow down and really show you the home. I recommend that this be over a mobile phone or a tablet. I think that it's challenging on a laptop just because you have to carry the whole thing with you. So that's my recommendation. If it's through Facebook and you're doing a video through that, you go into Messenger and there's a little video icon, and then you click that video icon and you invite somebody and you can call. I recommend that you practice FaceTiming and practice video calling through Facebook Messenger with a loved one, just to make sure that you iron out any glitches. Make sure that your internet and you are in the prime location in your house to make sure that you're not going to have an interrupted feed. I know that with so many people working from home, the internet seems to be a little bit bogged down right now. And Zoom, who I'm recording this through and I'm going to teach you a little bit about, is definitely a bit bogged down since they are offering free services to a lot of the school districts that are closed down. So the way that you're going to have that conversation is this. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know that we talked at some point. I think that it's a really good idea that we kind of get some planning in place now, and I can kind of have you walk through the house. I'm going to give you some recommendations, some feedback of things that you can be doing right now to get your house ready so that when the market is back to active, we are ready to go. So that's going to look like 2 things. One, I'm going to do a video conference with you. Do you have an iPhone? Okay, great. We can do FaceTime. You don't, no problem. Let's do it through Facebook Messenger. I'm going to send you a Facebook friend request right now. And then I'm going to be able to call you via video. What I'm going to ask you to do when we're on video is walk me through the house, but I'm going to have you do it in a pretty specific way. So I'm going to have you start at your front door and open the door as if I'm coming in. And then I'm going to have you spend a minute in the middle of your entryway, and you're going to spin real slow. Like we're talking relish the moment slow. I would rather you walk through the house slow than too fast. That way I can take some notes of what I'm seeing. Then we'll sit down via video and have a conversation about the things that I think that can be done. So after we do that video tour of the house and we have conversations, Then we'll have a second video conference, and it's going to be over a platform called Zoom. Zoom requires a download, but you don't have to go anywhere and do it. I'll send you an invitation via email. You'll click the link and it will automatically create that download. And then you and I can have a video conference. I can share my screen with you and show you the data I'm finding in the market that compares to your house and how we're going to come up with some pricing. Okay, so that's a sample of the conversation that you would have. Then let's say they friend you on Facebook and now you have that video conference call. While they're walking through the house, let's not be so stiff that we're like, and then the next room and spinning through that room. Ask them what they like about the room they're in. Ask them about the things they feel that need to be done in that space. Ask them why they moved into the home. Ask them what they love about the home. You know, all those questions that you would be having organically when you're in a house with somebody, just do your best to have those same conversations while you're on the internet with them. The other thing I would say is that if for someone is really challenged or having a hard time with video, you can do the same thing through photos. At that point, you're not going to have them stand in the middle of the room. You're going to have them go to the far corner and take a photo, and then a far corner and take a photo. I will say that photos are a little bit more challenging because everybody's quality of photography skills, they're all a little bit different. And we know that, you know, you can't really get a full view over photo, but I think that we can get the general idea of decluttering a home, a room that needs paint or that needs some new trim, or, you know, those kind of things we can take care of when we're over a photo or internet. Okay, so from there, they've shown you the home, you've asked some questions, and they've done the walkthrough. The next thing that we're gonna do is create a plan for them. So I'm gonna show you two platforms really quick. A lot of you have a marketing book, like a book that talks about how you market a property. And so there's a really clean and easy way to share that. I recommend that you share this with them over Zoom. So you've had your conversation with them walking through the house. Now we're going to do a Zoom meeting. So first and foremost, I'm going to share my screen really quick, and I'm going to show you. So you should be seeing my screen here. And I'm going to come back out. Sorry about that. I'm going to show you first that if you Google, how do I host a Zoom meeting? It will come up with this from the Help Center, and it's very, very, very easy to do. It's zoom.us, and then you create an account. It is free for every meeting under 40 minutes, and I believe that they've extended that to an hour during the pandemic. And then you host a meeting by hitting join, okay? Again, for the first time, I would recommend that you do a Zoom meeting with a family member or a friend and just make sure you understand the platform. There's a toolbar that you will have access to that helps you share your screen, share a couple of different screens, make sure that they're hearing you, make sure that they're seeing you, make sure that you're sharing your screens properly. So play around with it a little bit. I know that Stephanie would be happy to do a test run with you as well. So if you want to arrange that, you can email her or the office, and then she could be your test run. So she does Zoom meetings as well. So this is Zoom. So that's what I'm actually recording this on as well. But let's get back to sending them the marketing book. So you've sent them an invite to Zoom, they've logged into Zoom, and you guys are looking at each other in a video content the way that I'm doing it here, right? So the next thing that we're gonna do is talk to them a little bit about marketing. And so what I'm gonna do is share this marketing book with you. And so this is a sample marketing book, and you can use this platform. It's Yumpu, weird name, yumpu.com. It is free for 2 things. So you can't just use them every single time, but you could park your marketing pamphlet in here. And when I hit the read button, what happens is it gives me a booklet type image of this information that we can kind of flip through together. So they're on the other side of Zoom. I've pulled this up and I say, I want to talk to you a little bit about staging. I want to talk to you a little bit about the things that we could be doing in the home. I want to talk to you about why it's really important that we price the property correctly. So that said, I would also say under this marketing book, I'm not going to read every one of these pages for you, but I wanted to make sure that you knew that I have an extensive marketing plan in place to get as many views of your home as possible. And I'm going to send this over to you when our meeting's over, okay? In the meantime, these are kind of some things I want to talk about is how we're going to plan and when we can go live. And we're going to have to be a little bit fluid in this time, but that's okay. We can do that. I want to talk to you a little bit about how I give you a report card every week to let you know how the views of your home are going. So I'm going to send this over to you. And then when you send it over, you can just do that right through that Yumpy site that I showed you previously. The next thing that I want to show you is the CMA that I came up for your property. I did a comparative market analysis of your property, my screen with you, and this is again why you're going to practice, because you're going to want to make sure that you're understanding how to share your screen and things like that. So all I'm doing here is pulling up that CMA online, and then my recommendation is that instead of going through it by scrolling like there or over here, just pulling it down, the recommendation for the viewer on the other side is to use these arrows up here, okay? It then goes to the next page clearly, and that is a really nice way to view it. That way, no one's getting a lag or dizzy from you moving too fast and them trying to catch up. Okay, so at this point, we'd go through the CMA in the way that you would with any other customer, and you're just doing it online. But I can see you, they can see you can see them, and so we're having a conversation about it. We can stop and go back to things, and then you're going to let them know that you're going to email this to them as well. The other thing that you're going to want to show them though is how to handle the paperwork. So there's two pieces to that, making sure that they understand like that there's going to be some paperwork to complete, but that you're going to send those to them digitally to sign. But when signing digitally, it just like throws you to the bottom of the page super fast. So you want to make sure that you understand and have had time to go through these forms with them. So again, I'm going to share with you what I would be doing, and that is to create a full packet for them. And so I would start here with the Law of Real Estate Agency, and I would explain to them, you know, please review these pages. There's several pages here, but it gives you an understanding of what my duties to you are under the Law of Real Estate Agency. So I'm going to kind of skim through those quickly, but it is really important that you go through that information. The next thing that I want to talk about is the exclusive sale and listing agreement. And so here's where you can discuss, when do you think you're going to go live? Now, this might need to be fluid, right? May 1st or sooner, that kind of a thing. And then if for some reason you're within that 30 days of not getting it listed, you'll have to have an extension to this or an amendment to this, but that's fine. Talking about compensation here, let's go a little bit further down. You can go through all of these line items with them or ask them, do you want to review these on your own and let me know if you have any questions, or would you like me to go through these with you? You're also going to show them this form, let them know, hey, when I do put your listing into the multiple listing service, I'm going to have a form that has to be completed with all the details, and I'm going to send that to you for your review to make sure that I have everything correct to the best of my ability. So if you know of things that you're missing at this point, you can have that conversation. You're going to include the FERPTA certification, and you're going to ask them, yes or no, I am or am not a non-resident alien. And you're going to talk about the 22K, potentially the 22J, and then you're going to talk about the seller's disclosure form, and you're going to say, I'm going to send this one to you separately for you to complete. When you're done with it, you're going to send it back to me so that I can then set it up to send you for digital signatures. If they're savvy, they can print this, or not so savvy, they can print this, and then they can go ahead and make manual changes to it, physical, write with pen. And then you can let them know that there is an app that's free called CamScan, CamScan. And so when they take a picture through CamScan, it turns it into a PDF, and then they can email that to you. So That's another option. They can always just try to take pictures with their camera. Newer phones have a scan option, so if it knows that you're taking a picture of a form, it will say scan in the middle of the picture. And I know that that's a feature on iPhone and Android in the newer versions of the phones. So those are some recommendations as well. So I want to show you what it looks like when you send off some stuff to them via email so that you understand what they're going to be looking at when you send the Form 17. So share another screen here. So I sent myself an email. It just says forms to be completed. And you can see that when I click on this, and this is a good thing for you to demo to them, right? If they've never done this before, you might want to explain it to them. When they click on it, I can't do anything right now. So I have to go up to the right-hand corner and hit the download button. And when I do that, it opens it up and then I can complete this. Now the big thing that hopefully that transferred to you and you can see that. Sometimes when you go from one screen to another, let me just make sure it did. When you go from one screen to another, sometimes it doesn't pick it up. So you see now I can edit that. The thing you want to show them here too is that they need to do either one of two things. They need to print this as a Microsoft to PDF. And we can write all these directions out for them. Doesn't want to do it for me, so it's jamming up. Oh, so here everybody has Microsoft Print to PDF. When they do that, it will just save it onto their desktop. It's going to ask them, where do you want to save this? And you can put that wherever you want, right? The reason why is that sometimes these boxes don't translate when you just do file save. You can try that, file save, and see, then go and open it up and make sure that those boxes checked, but it's always safer to do the Microsoft Print to PDF because then those boxes will translate. Okay, so let's summarize. One, we're gonna have a phone conversation with them. We're gonna educate them on the fact that to do the tour of their house, we're gonna do that through either Facebook Messenger or through FaceTime. There's also another one called Duo that Dwayne just found. It's a Gmail product. That one is really great quality, just so you know. The only downside to it is you can only have 2 people on the call. FaceTime and Facebook, you can add multiple people in, so you could have the husband and wife on there, or you could have a family member who's, if it's an estate or something. Same with Zoom, you could have an unlimited amount of people you can put in there. So you're gonna talk to them about that. You're gonna have that first initial walkthrough of the house. You're gonna let them know that they're gonna get a Zoom email from you. That Zoom email, you're gonna go ahead and talk to them about your marketing, which you're gonna use YumpU, or you can just send them your marketing information. And then you're gonna show them the CMA and you're gonna show them the paperwork. Then you're gonna email them the paperwork and you've given them instructions on how to do that. It might be another phone conversation if it's not somebody who's not super tech savvy. And then at that point, it's about having a planning session. That can be done over the phone. It can be done via Zoom. Sometimes I really am a big fan of doing face-to-face, especially when people are in isolation, because I feel like it helps you have that personal relationship. You can still read body language, facial expressions. So I really like that idea as much as possible. I know that a lot of you don't like to see yourself on camera, and I just want to say, get over it. Like, everybody knows what you look like. You're not hiding from anybody. And you can spend an hour a day practicing on Zoom or through Facebook video or whatever, at least getting comfortable with what it's like to talk. On Zoom, I'm doing this with nobody on the other line. So I just set up a meeting and then I had the meeting and I'm recording it. So you could do this and just talk on a video and just see how you come across and what your body language looks like and your facial expressions. But all in all, this is not to replace face-to-face in the future. It's just another option, and definitely a really good option in this time where we can't do those face-to-face listing presentations. So if you have questions about this or other things, feel free to reach out to us. We're here in the office. I'm available. Stephanie's available. Matea and Shayna are around. So feel free to reach out and let us know how we can help you. Stay healthy, and we'll talk to you all soon.